So why aren't people doing it? So there's obviously various reasons, but it comes down to one thing as to why people are not doing it is fear of being on camera or fear of what people are going to think of them. Those are the two biggest reasons why they don't get started. And that's why they're not doing it. Have you heard that at all from people?
I have heard that from people. What do I think about that? I think culturally there's a difference between where I'm from and where you are, because it seems, from my perspective, I don't know if this is true, that British people are very reserved. So in the UK, it's really not cool to be seen to be trying. So, like, and it's really not that cool to be successful. Do you know what I mean? People think you're a bit of a dick if you're successful. If you're,
Really?
I think so, yeah.
I didn't know
But
that.
the very worst is if you are successful and you are seen to be trying. Do you know what I mean? It's all supposed to happen magically with no effort having gone on. Whereas my perception of what goes on where you are in the States is that people will be on the rooftop shouting about how amazing they are, even if they're
Yeah.
not. And they can't
Yeah.
all be that amazing, you know. So
Yeah.
that seems to be the cultural difference. So the first thing, fear of being on camera, I really find it hard to empathize with that. Because aren't we on camera all day, every day? Isn't someone pointing a video at you? And do you know, like now in 2022, it's not
Mhm.
like it's 1987. And if you're on
Mhm.
camera, it's going to be broadcast to the nation. Do you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
not the situation anymore. So I don't, but I suppose it tallies into this public speaking thing where people would rather die than stand up in front of people and speak. Although I don't
Yeah.
think that's been challenged seriously enough. I'd like to
Yeah.
find someone who says that and say, look, if you don't stand up and speak to this group of people, I am going to murder you. See what they do.
See what people do. Like, go ahead. I can't do
I
it.
think they'll get up and talk to people. I think that's what they'll do. So I think it ties into that. Does it tie into that?
Yeah, I think so. People are just, and it's either the fear, and again, I don't know why people don't with so many people being on Zoom and, on camera all the time. I think after that, it's probably just not having a plan, not knowing what to say.
Yep.
But if people stopped to think about it and actually created a plan, then it would make it a little bit easier to be like, all right, I got to do this.
Yes.
But it takes time, and we live in an environment today of we always gotta be doing something, right? And if you have to stop and make a plan, that means that you're gonna have to focus, and you're gonna have to take a bigger chunk of time to actually create something, of value, and I think that's what kinda takes people off track, where they're like, "Yeah, I don't wanna invest time like that, so I'm not gonna do it."
Yeah.
Do you
Do
think
you
that that
buy
might be
that?
part of it too, like what you've been seeing or experiencing versus the fear on camera?
Well, I mean, I tell you what occurs to me is that if people are really saying they don't have the time, I'm with you 100%. You should formulate a plan. Like, so there's a plan here. There's only 5 questions. We're going to have a conversation, but there's 5 questions, you know. There's
Mhm.
a plan to my What the series where although it is, it does take quite a lot of work. I've got to make it less work. That's the wrong one. And so they don't get produced as often as I'd like. I'd like to produce one once a week. Um, I don't buy it. Yeah, I tell you what I think is, I don't think that's I don't like being on camera is not a good response to I don't have the time to do this properly.
Mhm.
Um, and I just think people are busy fools. They're too busy failing to do the things that will make them successful a lot of the time. So that lends itself more to that situation than a I'm scared to be on camera situation, because I don't buy it. I don't buy
Yeah.
it.
I've had
Give me
people
another reason
actually
why people don't do it. Let's see if you can convince me if there's a good reason for people not to do it.
I think it's, when they see videos, especially if you get on TikTok and people
Yep.
are, being entertaining and they're not just educating or just sharing information, then I
Yep.
think people also are like, they're comparing themselves to others. And they're saying, oh, Martin's doing such great things with his video and he got, what, 650,000 views on it. I can't possibly. compare to that, so I'm not going to do it. So I
Yep,
think
not
people
good
get
enough.
caught up in the comparisonitis of it,
Not good
and then
enough.
that keeps them from doing it too. Yeah.
Not a good
Would you
enough
agree
reason
with
to
that
not
one?
produce videos. No.
They don't know how to edit. That's another one.
No, not good
No,
enough. You can get an editor on Fiverr who'll do it for you for
you can do it on
whatever.
your phone.
You know, you can
There's no
you can
need to
edit
be
on your
editing.
phone.
You
Yeah.
can do it on your phone.
In all seriousness, you could learn to edit in about half an hour.
You could.
You could. Okay, good. Have you got another reason? I'm enjoying this game.
No, I think those it covers all of the hardest parts of why people don't do it. And again, if you look at all those pieces, it
Yep.
requires time. It all comes down
Yes.
to they just don't want to invest the time in actually doing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. And I think what this ties into is this marketing thing. They don't want to be marketing for some weird reason. Like for me,
Mhm.
marketing and then sales is how you get to be successful. So
Yeah.
I think it's tied into that. So I'm not saying I don't believe you that people aren't coming up with these reasons for not doing it, but none of them are good enough reasons. So there's a guy
I
in
agree.
the UK, I think he's called, no, I know what he's called. He's called Mr. Who's the Boss. And he's like a tech reviewer. And
Mhm.
he's a whale. He's enormous. Like his videos are getting, every video is getting millions of views. He might have 5 million subscribers. And he's been on it for like the 7 or 8 years that you need to have got to that position. But
Mhm.
famously, or not famously, he didn't appear in a video for like the first year. So the
Oh,
truth is, you don't need to appear in a video. Like you could either put slides up on the screen, or there's animation services that cost like $5 a month that you can use. So you can be producing video content really, really simply that doesn't involve you being on the screen.
yeah, exactly. I
Good.
100% agree. We can come up with all kinds of reasons why people should be doing it. Even if you don't, like you said, even if you don't want to be on camera,
Okay.
there's
Thank you for taking the time to check out this effective marketing clip. If you found this interesting and useful, YouTube thinks you're going to enjoy this one, and this is the latest thing that we've put together. If you haven't yet, and you could take a second to like, share, subscribe, and comment, that will give us the motivation to continue on this epic journey.